according to Morgan Stanley, we are headed towards a recession.
And according to Goldman Sachs, absolutely not.
What is really going on?
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Local Loop. Today we would like to talk about the recession. I'm here with Katie Benson from my team, and gosh, we've been hearing recession a lot. And
yes, if you listen to anything on the news or you read anything in any paper, that's probably the biggest topic.
It's the biggest topic, and recession rhymes with depression, and I think it has people kind of freaked out.
It does.
Yeah.
There's confusion. Whenever there's confusion in the market, it makes consumers nervous.
Concerned, yeah.
And they freeze, and they don't want to do anything.
And they get their information from the news, right?
Right.
And recently, the news has been very confusing.
Right. Morgan Stanley put out something just last month saying we're absolutely in a recession or heading towards a recession in 2020.
And then during the same week, Goldman Sachs says we're absolutely not headed into a recession. So it's
confusing.
There's confusion, yeah. So we thought that we would break it down. We actually collaborate, and we talk to several real estate advisors and economists. And it's interesting because when you look at the last 5 recessions since 1980, and you break it down, there's
only been one major recession that has affected the housing market, and that was in 2008. But unfortunately, that was the most recent recession. It's what everyone thinks about.
It's on everyone's
right?
brain, absolutely.
So they hear recession, and everyone thinks
housing crisis.
Housing crisis.
But when you break it down, let's talk about the facts, because I looked up the numbers. In 1980, housing prices actually went up.
During
6%.
the recession.
During the recession, the first recession in 1980. In 1981, housing prices also went up 3.5% for that recession. And then in 1991, it did go down a little bit.
They depreciated about 2%.
Less than 2%. Yeah, 1.9%, very little. Then in 2001, the next recession, housing prices actually went up 6.6%.
But then we have 2008.
Okay, yeah.
And the housing prices went down 20%. But an interesting, realtor.com did a survey to consumers, and they asked just last quarter, how many of you think that we're headed towards a recession? I think it was over 50% of consumers said, yes, absolutely, we are headed towards a recession. They asked another question to that same group, and they said, who thinks it's going to be as bad as 2008? Over 50% said it's going to be as bad or worse in 2008. That's absolutely wrong, and we have the data to show you why.
And yet it's people's perception, and it's what's in their head, and that's what they're believing, although it's not quite true. So let's talk about it. Delinquency rates, which is interesting. It's the lowest it's ever been. And between 2005 and 2008, people were buying things like boats, and they were taking equity out of their house to buy boats and cars and everything, and then the market changed, and then they were caught.
They were caught. So the delinquency rates then were so high. So if you look at who was not being able to pay their mortgage back in 2008, it was basically everyone, because everyone could borrow money, everyone was buying a house, everyone was taking money out of their houses, there were no equity in their homes. Yeah. Right now, over 30% of all homeowners don't have a mortgage.
Which is incredible.
So we're not in the same situation as we were in 2008.
Exactly. Right? And there are people that are pulling equity out of their house, but they're doing it to pay for college.
Start a small business.
Yeah.
So, again, we are not headed towards a housing crisis because, number one, we do not have people that are almost going to be delinquent on mortgages, and we aren't having people buy homes that shouldn't be buying homes right now. Absolutely. Like we were in 2008. There's stricter rules.
There's actually something I read about. It's called a mortgage banking credit availability.
And like an index.
Yeah, it's an index to kind of show how easy it is to get a mortgage, right? So the average number that's healthy would be about 350, 400. In 2006, it was 900, which means that anyone can get a mortgage. Right. In today's market, we're at around 200. So we're not even at normal, which is great. It's difficult to get a mortgage. It takes a lot of paperwork. Yes. They put us through a lot to get our clients a mortgage. So I believe that we are not headed into a housing crisis at all.
Definitely not. So recession, yes. Everyone says probably by the election we'll be in a recession. All that means is a market slowdown. It does not mean a housing crisis.
Right.
So if you're thinking about selling or you're thinking about buying, today is a fine market to do that in.
Interest rates are super
right?
low.
They're so low. So don't get nervous that we are headed towards a housing crisis.
Exactly.
There's no facts to back that up.
Yep, I agree. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Our goal here at the Metalios Group is to be your trusted advisor for anything real estate related. And we hope to hear from you.
Yeah. Send us questions.
Yeah, thank
Call
you.
us.
Bye.